Okay, I'm back, and I'm back on a better camera. I got a new phone. That last video, the quality was so horrible, and then an opportunity came across to get a different device. So let's try with a better camera. Today I'm going to do a video. One of the local rent-to-own places upgraded their internal equipment. They were previously operating on a bunch of these HP thin clients. So these went to me. I've got a few of them. I don't know what is inside of these. I haven't torn one up. I started to, and I'm like, oh, let's make a video. So I tried to mess with one of these. I found a power connector and hooked it up to a monitor. These have an embedded Windows 7 in them and a tiny, tiny, tiny solid state drive. So the thing was a disaster. I decided I was gonna try to reinstall Windows and see if I could use it. Then I got looking on eBay. There's some people that have got them listed for like $20 a piece. They didn't move. They've been listed for a while, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna get what we can get out of them. I have no idea how to take it apart, so I'm just kind of gonna have at it. I know it's got some plastic stuff on here. If you see me kind of babying my pinky, I was ripping a motherboard out of a computer a few minutes ago, and it had like this weird slidey thing, and I caught my finger in there, so I cut my finger, but I don't have time to go look for a Band-Aid in this place. So this is probably a good time to tell everybody to don't be me and wear some safety equipment or something. But let's be honest, most of you wouldn't do that anyways, probably. So do it. Okay, I took the plastic thing off. There's a couple of screws. I'll bring the thing back into the... I know you can't see it. I can't find where my tripod went. I don't know if you can see behind me, but the shop is a really big mess. So one of these days I will clean it and then we'll find that stuff. I found 3 screws, and I think that's going to let me get the side of this open. Yep, it looks like it. Took the screws off. Let's see what we have inside of here. Oh, one more screw that I missed. And you can't see the board yet, but it looks like this thing actually had some potential, and they had a really watered down version of the hardware going here. But so far, looks like we're gonna have a small DDR3 memory module. I can't take it up and hold the thing at the same time, so it had 2 gigs of DDR3, and in my experience, if a board will take 2, it'll take 4, maybe 8. So this probably was salvageable, but oh well. What's curious is that it had a regular SATA connector that wasn't being used, and it also had well, this little guy, and I've frequently seen this little guy mostly used for Wi-Fi, but they've also got an adapter that's like NVMe or M2 or whatever they're called for solid state hard drives. Sometimes go in slots like this. The hard drive is right here on this one. So however I'm gonna be able to get that off here will be interesting. I'm just gonna, does it pry right off? It sure does. But it's got some sort of connector, so. And it's a plastic tab thing, and I hate when they do that. Okay. So here's our hard drive, okay? It's tiny. This is just 4 gigs. I'm gonna probably, this has just got 3 little chips on it, 2 on the back, 1 on the front, a couple of MLCCs and resistors on here, and a tiny amount of pins. But I'm going to look at the eBay value of this guy first. It's probably not much, but being that it's IDE, it's got pins instead of SATA. Being that it's IDE, you could probably use this on older laptops like Windows XP and older, and you might be going, well, why would you do that? For those of you who don't know, this is actually a computer repair shop, and I do the e-waste on the side. I have some clients who have machines that only work on the older hardware, but sometimes that hardware is so slow that it's just awful. And I'll give you an example. I don't know if you can see behind me, but that computer runs on Windows XP, and further over right there, right there is my sign printer. It's a 24-inch wide format printer and vinyl cutter, plotter, whatever you want to call it. So that machine, you can't run it on anything newer than Windows XP, and I have things like that with a lot of my clients. Machines that were made in the 70s and 80s that are the size of this room, and they can't really switch. So I'm gonna hold on to this because that might do some good. Other than that, back to this. We've got your standard stuff, I guess. We've got some pins that we can collect from the memory, and right here. Strangely, there's a PCI Express slot, which there's no way that you would have been able to plug a graphics card into this. There's a big chip here. I'm gonna pop these heat sinks off and see if I've at least got, fingers crossed, for a better quality BGA, like one of those gold corner things or something. This will go in my pile of radiators. My junkyard here gives me $1 a pound for this stuff. So they're worth saving in a pile. And sadly, it looks like the main chip and the north bridge, well, I'm not sure if that's, that could be something else, but this main chip is just a flip chip and it's completely trashed, but we did get at least one great big one out of here. So there's a little bit of value to it. There's nothing on the back side, but if you ever get these, you've at least got that guy in there and a bunch of pins. So have fun with it. I'm gonna do the rest of these, I guess, because they're not worth rebuilding. See you next time.